Here's the first phrase. So you start on C, your first finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret. Play 3 and 5, landing on F, 3rd fret, D string. That's the key, by the way, F. So you're coming into the root. Take your 3rd finger on the D string, slide up to 7. Now, little chromatic, 6 to 7. Twice. Hit 7 again. Now, 3, 5, 3. Here it is again. Come back, slide this time up to 7. 6, 7, 6, 7. And hammer on the next string from 5 to 7. Land with your pinky on 8 on the D string. I just realized I didn't do this first. So I gave you the first phrase. And it continues. It's coming into G minor chord here. Here it is. Here's the phrase first. So this is a G minor scale. It's not in any way you're probably used to. It doesn't come across the neck. So you have to understand a lot of the reasons Glen plays what he does in the positions that he plays. At the speed he plays, he needs to control his pick, the down-up movement. I'll talk a little bit about this. Let me just say for now that when you pick, there's a couple different types of picking. The most efficient for string changes is what they call a downward pick slant. You have your pick, instead of being perpendicular to the strings, the pick is down at an angle. What this does, when you pick, your upstroke is free. Let's say if I was to do angle it this way, and my upstroke is now stuck in the strings. And that happens when you play completely 90 degrees perpendicular. Say I'm stuck against a D string. When I tilt the pick down, on an upstroke, I'm escaped, I'm outside. Now there are situations where you may have like 3 notes per string, and you need to escape this way, and you would alternate your slant so that your pick is slanting up. I'm exaggerating, nobody slants this much. It's usually about 10 degrees or so. But if I had 3 notes here, now my downstroke, believe it or not, that was a downstroke, is outside the strings, and I'm clear. I'll go over this as I teach this lesson to show you where he does hammers, slides, or comes across a string in a rake, because he doesn't want to get caught in the strings. This is a very difficult solo, and a big part of the difficulty is picking the notes. I mean, the left hand is no picnic either, but picking the notes. So it's funny to go through this solo and see where the slides and the hammer-ons are, and you see how he's gotten in the habit over the years of phrasing everything where he escapes the strings. Basically, with a downward slant, you want to change strings on an up. And for the most part, he does here. In the few parts he doesn't, we're going to turn the pick the other way and do it. So watch, this is how he plays a G minor scale instead of coming across. He does it like this. Let me play the phrase again, just to remind you what it was. It was a pull off there because that was an upstroke. So, the actual phrase is played like this. Start on G, D string, 5th fret. We're going to play 5, 7, 8, but we're going to, again, we have 2 notes, 2 picks per string, but 3 notes. So we want to hammer from your 3rd finger to 4th finger. So that's just a quick introduction to what's called pick slanting. I'm just going to teach the notes now. 4th string, 5, hammer 7 to 8. Now here on the 3rd string, he's going to slide from 5 to 7. We're going to play 8 and 10 on the same string, and then hit 8 on the 2nd string and 6 on the 1st string. So those last notes were all picked down. We had string changes, 1 note each, and those are best as sweeping or raking motion. Here we come down, and I landed on 6 on the 1st string. On the upstroke, I'm going to put my 3rd finger on the 9th fret skinny string and slide up 1 fret. So that ended that string. On a downstroke, hit the 10th fret on the G string. See, we have to cross over the B string without hitting it, and we want to really make sure we come up on the 1st string on the up. You'll see. So things that are easy to play slowly reveal their difficulties as you start to build up to speed. As I was learning this solo, some of the things I could play at 85%, I couldn't play at 90%. Some of the things I could play at 95% speed didn't work at 100. I really had to work out these fingerings, especially since I didn't have any video of Glen to work with. But I slowed it down and I was able to figure it out. And it makes sense, picking-wise. So I slid 9 to 10, I hit the D string, then I hit the 1st string 8. So here again, down at 11 on the 2nd string with your pinky, up and pull off, 10 to 8. Now there's only 1 note on the next string, 10 on the 3rd string. Now you have to put your 1st finger on 8 and do a hammer 8, 10, 8 pull off on the D string. And slide to 7. And then you land with your pinky on 10. It was a very unusual way to play a G minor scale. Picking works out. And it's a jazzy little phrase here, which are definitely not cliches or anything. This is pretty, well, the chord progression, I'll talk about it or maybe make another lesson. The chord progression is very jazzy. A lot of augmented chords, a lot of minor major 7s, a lot of chromaticism, and he matched it with the solo. Next phrase. So that's just 6, 7. You'll notice he keeps coming up here a lot on the 3rd string to 8. The chord is now G minor and this note is G. Maybe I'll end it there. Again, down on 5 on the 3rd string, pull off 7 to 5 on the 3rd string, and you end with an up. And then again, you do it on the next string, 8 on the D string, 4th string, pull off 7 to 5 on the D string. Now, we got 3 notes here. So we're gonna hit the first one on the 5th string, 8, down, pinky. Now we need to end on up. So we hammer 7 to 8. 2 picks, 2 picks, 2 picks. So 3 notes per string, but 2 picks. Again, he solves the problem this way on the next notes. D string, 5, 7 to 8, but he slides to 8. Hammer, slide 7 to 8, G string, 3rd string to 2nd string to 3rd string. No, it's just a right across, but your 1st finger. So we had, these are the notes, C, E, G, C, and then a pull off 6 to 5 on the skinny string, another pull off. It was a little tough because you're using a pinky in your 2nd finger. 2nd string, 8 to 6, and land on 7 on the 3rd string with your 3rd finger. 5 on the 2nd string, 7 to 5 on the 3rd string, but this is an oddball note. It's not in the key, it's not in the scale. And Glen does this a lot. It's pretty much a trademark of Glen's, a signature move, and that's, you land it on 6 on the 4th string. 5th fret, 3rd string to 2nd string, and then we wind up at 6. But we end up at 6 with the 1st finger. Why? Because he's always thinking ahead. Next phrase, 2nd string slide 8 to 10. And then 1st string 10, 8. Now, at slow speed you can use any finger, but you can't at the speed he plays it. You have to slide up with your 3rd finger, 2nd string 8 to 10, and play 10 to 8 on with your pinky, and it doesn't really matter what finger you use for 8. Next phrase. When he plays at slow speed, you notice he actually, instead of playing just 8th notes, 1, 2, and 3, he's got a little bop to it, little jazz it, little swing to it. 13 on the skinny string, that was a down, and he has a rest, so he has time to do 2 downs in a row. 12, 10. 12, another outside note, again, another trademark, on the 2nd string to 10 on the 1st string. Then he's going to come down, 2nd string, 13, 12, 11. But instead of going to 10, he goes 9 to 10. Little jazz phrase there too. Or blues. It's what we call uptown. instead of, he went. So he came across, you'll recognize this as pentatonic. 12 on the G string, 3. 10 on the G string, 3. 12 on the 4th string. Now, watch this, hammer-ons. 10, 11, 12, you're just filling in the spaces on the D string, 4, G string, 3. 10, 11, 13 on the 2nd string, 10, 11, 13 on the 1st string. It comes back, does the 2nd and 1st string again, does the 2nd string, and he does the 3rd string again, ending your 1st finger on 10. You may notice there that I slid up. That's actually what he does on the record. I didn't do it that way in the lesson. It's extremely hard. I wanted to make it a little easier for myself and for 99% of the people, if they ever really do work out this solo, they're going to find it impossible to play that at high speed. Do not underestimate Glen's abilities. He could really do things that most other people can't. And one of them was to play this phrase. It slides, and whereas mere mortals go. It's the best way to do it. The hardest phrase in the solo at speed. Your pick is going to be tripping all over itself. We start out with an augmented triad here. 11 on the D string. 10 and 10 on the G and B. To 13 on the B. Now, I alternate pick this. Down, up, down, up. So I end the 4-note phrase on an up. I find that alternate picking also gives you more control than sweeping. So watch. I could have swept it and also ended on an up. That was 3 downs and an up. If you're good at sweeping, you may want to do it that way. Another thing I don't like about the notes tend to blend together and they're not supposed to. And I have a little less control when I sweep. I'm not the world's greatest sweeper. 11, 10. This one is a bitch. It looks simple, right? At high speed, it is hard. The problem is in this hand. This hand, not so much. 11, 13 on the 1st string. Do a pull off 11 to 10. Landing on 13 picked on the 2nd string. 11, 10, pull off on the 2nd string. 2, 12 on the 3rd string. Now, in the tablature, I have 10, 12, 10, like this. Pick, pick, pick. That's one of these phrases I could play at 95% speed, but not 100. So I had to change it, and it was really hard, because when you practice something one way and realize it doesn't work, and then have to relearn it, you'd be shocked at how many times your hands, your muscle memory just goes back to that first way of learning it. So that's why it's really important to find these trouble spots before you practice it, if you ever want to do any transcribing or anything like that. Helpful little tip. So what I came up with was a pull-off, double pull-off, 14, 12, 10 on the G string. Now, extremely important that the next note, 11 on the 2nd string, be a up. If that's not a up, you are, begins with F. Because the next phrase, and you see that wasn't even clean. It's tough to pull off with the pinky. If you watch my videos, you notice my pinky sticks out too. is because I broke my pinky a long time ago. I broke it right here between two football helmets. And so it's doubly harder for me, but it's the only way that works picking-wise. Next phrase. Doesn't sound like much slow, but it's an amazing phrase at full speed. It sounds like the music is going backwards. That is obviously jazz. That is obviously influenced by Django Reinhardt. One of Glen's major influences, Django Reinhardt. This phrase is fantastic. First of all, I love it. So many outside notes. But you really got to get the picking down. You come up, you take your first finger, you slide from 10 to 9 on the D string. The reason you slide is so you can hit the G string at 10 with your second finger. While you're doing that, you take your index and slide it down from, I think, 9 to 8. Yes, so watch this. I mean, that's so cool. The reason you're doing these slides is the picking again. Next, on the 4th string, we pick 9, but we pull off 8 to 7. 8 on the 3rd string. Now, this is crucial from a picking standpoint. You're going to pull off 7 to 6 on the D string. Because now you have 2 downs in a row here. This is crucial that you pick this down because we're going to jump over the G string here. And it's crucial to be going in the same direction. See, you don't want to come on an up and then string skip also. So it kind of contradicts what I talked about before with the pick slanting. But again, you know you're playing this right. The next note is 8 on the 2nd string. If you hit that on a down, that's how you know you're playing it right. So when you practice this, when I practice it, I can't pay attention to every single note I play. But if I go, and I'm here on a down, that's my checkpoint, and I know I'm okay. After that 8 is just a 7 to 6 pull-off. I'll give the numbers one more time. So the reason I keep starting from this note is this, the end of it. That's that. 4th string, 10 to 9 slide. 3rd string 10, 2nd finger. Now reach over, 9 to 8 slide on the A string. Now hit 9. Eight to 7 on the 4th string. 8 on the G string. 7, 6. That was down. It should have been a pull-off. 8, 7, 6 with a pull-off. Land at 8. And then you may recognize this next phrase. So it's a B flat chord, that's why. And that's a slide, so he doesn't have to pick again. So he ended on that up. That was 8 to 6. You have it in the tab. I'm so used to doing these without tab. Pull off 3rd string, 3rd finger to 2nd finger, 8 to 7. Now with your 1st finger, you reach across to the D string for 6 and 6. That was actually 6 notes. Pull off. Come to 5 with your 1st finger. A Glen move, but also a standard lick. So we had our third finger at 7 on the 3rd string, slide to 9, hit 8 with the middle finger. Now you have to have both fingers down. You do a pull off and a slide. That was 9, 7, 5, and G string ending on 7 on the D string. Seven, and now it's a down. Double hammer 5, 6, 7 on an up. So that's almost like the other phrase. 2nd string 6 to 7 to 6. You put your 3rd finger down on 8, slide to 10, hit this 10, and then now the double pull off, this pull off and slide is from 10 to 8 to 6 on the 2nd string, and it ends at 7 on the 3rd string. Oh man, I hope that wasn't. Okay, 6 notes here. 5 on the G string, 7 to 9 on the. You have to slide with your 3rd finger. Hit that with your 2nd finger. Ten, 7. That's just 8, 6 pull-offs. 7, and now he bends here. 2nd string. Finally releases it. Hits 7 on the 3rd string. Slides to 10, 2nd string. And you see he's matching what the orchestra is playing. He ends at 8 on the 1st string. Alright, I haven't really done a talking video in quite a while. You have the tab. I covered pretty much everything. I really had to make the talking part to just clear up a few things, and especially the picking and the fingering. Why does he play it this way? Fingering, picking, speed. Alright, thanks for watching.